I'm going to be comparing the Bambi franchise to the Chicken Run franchise. Reason for that is in part 1 of this series, I compared Bambi to the Brother Bear franchise, Bambi 1. I compared Chicken Run to Solaris, Chicken Run 1. So now I'm going to compare the winners of those two videos. When you look at highest score for each franchise, the original Bambi has a 91%. The original Chicken Run movie from DreamWorks is a 97%. When you look at lowest score for each franchise, Bambi 2, the direct-to-video follow-up to the original film, only has a 44%. Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nuggets actually has an 83%. That's quite good. And then we look at average score. Chicken Run has an average of 90. Bambi has an average of 67. When you look at gap between lowest and highest score, you got a gap of only 14% in the case of Chicken Run, whereas with Bambi, it's a gap of 47. Chicken Run has won every round so far, so it's going to be winning this debate already. But let's look at my personal opinion. Which franchise do I like more? And in this case, I definitely enjoy both Bambi as well as Chicken Run. They are certainly different from each other. The Bambi movies are certainly more simple. There's not quite as many things that happen in these movies. They're more like about the cycle of life. I enjoy seeing our dear Bambi trying to survive in the woods. Of course, the first movie is well known for the fact that Bambi's mother dies, which is very sad. And also, I think it's interesting that in both Bambi movies, there's not one character that's clearly the villain. There's not one human who you remember the name of that's clearly the villain. It's more like, yeah, there are humans out there that have guns that are a threat to the animals in the wilderness, but there's not one human you recall that's the obvious threat to our animals. In the second film, I like that Bambi's father, who's this more regal, dignified prince, at first isn't connecting with his son as well, but then as the movie goes on, he learns to connect more with Bambi, learns to care about him more, not just be the calm, collected, dignified ruler prince. Also, I think the visuals in both Bambi movies are quite good. The voice acting is good across the board. I like the stories being told here. I mean, is Bambi my favorite animated franchise? Certainly not, but I enjoy these ones. When it comes to Chicken Run, first of all, it's interesting that these are stop motion movies because most of the time you get more traditional animated films, more traditional 3D animated films, but Chicken Run is not that. It's one of the few stop motion movies that DreamWorks has done, so that inherently makes it a bit more memorable, a bit more interesting than something like Bambi, which doesn't look bad, obviously, but it is more traditional. Also, beyond that, I like the story being told in both Chicken Run movies. The first one is about this one chicken who's really passionate about freedom, whereas the other chickens don't care as much. They're more resigned to being on this property, but this one chicken is like, no, we gotta fight for our freedom. And then this other animal named Rocky ends up joining the chickens and helps them to get their freedom. But then there's a reveal that actually he's not who he claimed to be, and then he ends up coming back. So admittedly, in the first Chicken Run movie, you do have the liar revealed plot line, which is cliche. That's been done in quite a good amount of animated films. I mean, Madagascar Free Europe's Most Wanted, Over the Hedge, a movie called Hit Pig that came out recently, which is actually from a British animated studio. I got to see that one in theaters. So it's been done before multiple times, but still, I think story in the first Chicken Run movie is interesting. It's satisfying when our chickens free themselves from the oppressive rule of Miss Tweety, who's rather intimidating. Then the second movie is about how these chickens are now on an island. They are free, but the daughter of our main chicken from the first film in Rocky wants to go out and explore. She's not content with just staying on the island, which leads to her being taken to this facility where this scientist along with Miss Tweety are both there, and actually they're trying to create chicken nuggets because they taste really good. But Rocky and this young chicken's mother are going to the facility in order to free their daughter. But then when they get there, they see there's all these other chickens that are being held captive here. We gotta set them free so they're not turned into nuggets and thus killed. Ultimately, they end up doing that, which is really satisfying. I thought Dawn of the Nuggets is an example of a good sequel, found a way to continue this story that made sense. Now, when it comes to which franchise I prefer, I think at the end of the day, I'm going to pick Chicken Run because I find it to just be a bit more memorable, a bit more distinct, a bit more interesting than Bambi, which I definitely enjoy for sure, but it also is more traditional anyway. That'll wrap things up for this video.